down for an interview with ABC's George Stephanopoulos. All of it an effort to tamp down on reports that deep-pocketed donors are freezing campaign contributions for now.
Hours after Democratic Party megadonor Reed Hastings, the co-founder of Netflix, called on Biden to step aside, the Associated Press reports some financial backers are now holding off or canceling upcoming fundraisers for the Biden campaign, a sign the president and his advisors have more work to do to convince their own supporters that the president has the stamina to take on Donald Trump.
That's ABC's Christiane Cordero. A big election in Britain means a big change.
Wow. You know, I mean, first you have the congressional support. 3 members of Congress right now have publicly asked for the president to step aside. Then you've got the financial donors. Then you've got the president saying, well, it was a cold. Remember, that was released in the middle of the debate.
In the middle
of the debate. Good morning, by the way, to those of you joining us on the video live stream. Hello, and welcome to the July 5th edition, the Friday edition of the WSJM Morning Show. I'm Ken Lundberg. Right over there is Brett Witkowski. Thanks for joining us, Brett. We're talking about a bunch of stuff this morning, including the president's interview coming up tonight with George Stephanopoulos. It's going to be taped earlier today, and then it'll be played supposedly in its entirety at 8 o'clock tonight on ABC.
After nap time?
Well, when the president's ready to go to bed, I will be going to bed as well because I get up really early. But I have an excuse. So you've got the congressional support waning, you've got the money waning, and that's a big one. You heard about Netflix founder or owner, whoever, the rich guy with Netflix has said, I'm pulling back. I need another candidate before I'm going to put another dime in this race. More people saying that, and that will get the party's attention quicker than anything.
Money talks.
Money talks. So, what? You're just looking at me.
Just waiting for your next comment. I just think it's. I'm disappointed that now all of a sudden, with the media mainstream, his health and his performances and his ability to speak is now an issue.
Yeah.
And I think it's an issue because they can't hide it.
Yeah.
And I think the average person is like, if you watched most or any part of that, you realize he's not fit to be president of the United States.
All right, we'll come back and talk. That's your opinion.
That's my opinion.
We'll talk more about this and other things on the WSJM Morning Show in just a moment.
Last month, Michael Phelps and other Olympians criticized the World Anti-Doping Agency for inconsistently enforcing the rules.
As athletes, our faith can no longer be blindly placed in the world of anti-doping agency.
Phelps saying if athletes aren't held accountable, the Olympics will lose credibility.
That's ABC's Andrew Dimbert. New York City police say 3 people were killed and 7 others injured when a suspected drunk driver plowed his vehicle into a crowded park on Thursday night. NYPD Chief Jeffrey Madry says many of those in the park were families enjoying the 4th of July holiday.
As these families were enjoying the 4th of July celebration, a gray pickup truck, a Ford F-150, driving at a high rate of speed on Water Street eastbound, ran through the intersection of Water Street and Cherry Street, through the stop sign, up onto the sidewalk, into Corliss Hook Park, and struck people who were out enjoying the evening.
NYPD says the incident does not appear to be terror-related. 4th of July fireworks in Marblehead, Massachusetts, canceled after a fire broke out on a barge the fireworks were to be launched from. Nobody was hurt, and nobody was on board that boat when the fire broke out. They say they're looking for another date. I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
WSJM News Now. Team coverage from the WSJM Newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
It is the WSJM Morning Show. Good morning. Ken Lundberg alongside Brett Witkowski. Thanks for joining us on, Brett. Happy Friday. Happy Independence Day weekend to you.
Same to you.
Thank you very much. Local news that we're following today, Congressman Tim Walberg has introduced legislation that would block the U.S. Department of Labor from rescinding a Trump-era rule that expanded the use of association health plans. Association health plans are those that are offered by small employers who band together to get more buying power in the insurance market. However, the Department of Labor says association health plans often skirt consumer protections that are required by the Affordable Care Act. Wahlberg says the plans make it easier for small employers to cover their workers with health insurance.
The Biden administration has pursued a backwards rule to limit association health plans. AHPs level the playing field for small businesses. They lower the cost of health care and provide greater choice.
The Department of Labor in April announced its rule to limit AHPs. Wahlberg says Biden campaigns on lower health care costs, but the new Labor Department rule will only cause health care costs to rise for those enrolled in those association health plans. Following a fire that destroyed the Ramona roller rink in Sister Lakes back in May, a celebration of the rink's history and a fundraiser to help it reopen will be held this weekend. Tomorrow, as a matter of fact, Christina Castaneda has helped organize the fundraiser and tells us the party will be in the rink's parking lot from 11 a.m. until dusk tomorrow.
We're going to have vendors from all over the community coming to sell stuff to the public. A lot of the vendors are donating a certain percentage of their proceeds to the cause when it's all said and done. The booth fees are all 100% donated to Ramona. We're going to have food trucks. We're going to have kids' activities. And then at dusk, we'll have fireworks. And I think something that a lot of people are looking forward to, especially the ones that used to go to Ramona, we have some DJs that are going to be out there DJing that used to DJ at Ramona.
They'll also have face painting, mini golf, and a raffle. Castaneda says the rink had insurance, but not quite enough to cover the rebuild. Everyone's invited to the event, which is also being held as a 96th birthday celebration for the rink. We have a link for more information at our website, WSJM.com. What are you crying over there?
Just
You got allergies? Your eyes are watering?
My eyes, I don't know.
If you're watching on the video live
itchy.
stream, it looks like Brett is crying right now. Sorry, Brett.
Not yet.
It's going to be okay.
Okay.
It's going to. The Benton Township Board of Trustees has approved two multi-million-dollar sewer projects. Trustees heard from Steve Osting with civil engineering firm Payne and Newhoff at their regular board meeting this week. He said the St. Joseph River Crossing project will involve the construction of a new sanitary sewer line off Riverview Drive. Currently, Benton Township and the city of Benton Harbor share a sewer line that goes under the river. Osting told us that could cause problems.
Historically, the two have always used the same line, and so this will establish a separate line that will separate the township's system from the city's crossing. It alleviates a capacity restriction right now with both systems using the single line. If there's too much flow, it can back up the system,
which is not a good thing at all. Osting said the other project is at Broadway and Willow Creek.
The Broadway and Willow Creek sewer project is a repair of the existing system because of some problems in the existing lines. So that'll just remove and replace the deficient lines and replace them with new ones.
The St. Joseph River Crossing project comes at a cost of $3.8 million. The Broadway and Willow Creek project is $2.1 million. Osting said the funding is coming in the form of a low-interest loan from the Clean Water State Revolving Fund, and it will be paid back over 30 years. And finally, a little rain yesterday did not stop any of the crowds from coming out for the 4th annual Berrien Springs Pickle Festival. The event was held at the History Center at Courthouse Square to celebrate the 4th of July and the area's proud pickle heritage. Sarah Spoonholtz, who we know, she's with the Southwest Michigan Regional Chamber and a Pickle Fest volunteer. She tells us that they had more than 50 craft vendors on hand, food vendors, big wheel races, a relish eating contest, a frozen t-shirt contest, and the famous pickle fling to find out who has the power to throw a pickle the farthest.
How far to go?
I don't know, but I would much rather throw a pickle than eat 58 hot dogs.
I agree.
Like they did at Nathan's. Yep. Pickle Fest goers relished in the pickle tasting room. They relished in the pickle tasting room, the Michigan Pickle Emporium, and the innovative pickle recipes that were served up by vendors like pickle pretzels, Dr. Pepper with pickles, and pickle pizza. Which, if you've ever had pickle pizza, it's not bad. It's not bad.
My eyes are watering.
Would you
no.
Pickle pretzels?
No.
Dr. Pepper with pickles?
No.
Pickle pizza?
No.
Pickle cotton candy?
No.
Wouldn't that be good?
I'm just not a pickle fan.
Spoonholtz says apparently pickles are a big thing for Berrien Springs.
Berrien Springs was named the Christmas pickle capital of the world by, I believe it was Better Homes and Gardens magazine back in the 80s, 90s. They had been doing a Christmas pickle parade up until the early 2000s, and unfortunately it just kind of went away. And there was talks, especially post-COVID, of like, hey, how do we get more people here? Like, how do we show them how amazing Berrien Springs is?
And it is amazing. Children also had the chance to send Berrien County Sheriff Chuck Hite into the dunk tank during the event. Spoonholtz says the Pickle Festival has been a resounding success with about 1,500 attendees the first year, 3,000 the second year, 6,000 last year. They're still tallying up everyone that was at yesterday's event. She was hoping that the Pickle Fest will be a big enough dill to attract even more in future years.
You worked on this all night, didn't you?
I encouraged the news team to attend the Pickle Fest and put some puns in the story. I said puns will be welcome.
So did they go?
Yeah.
Who'd you send down there?
Well, both Andrew Green and Sean Robinson
Wow.
indicated they wanted to go there. So I think both of them went.
Cool.
Yeah. So anyway, Pickle Fest. Good stuff.
Yeah, good for Berrien Springs.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have more coming up on the WSJM Morning Show. Again, a reminder, we're on the video live stream today. Just go to Facebook, YouTube, or X and type in WSJM. Go to your platform of choice, and you can see behind the scenes. We'll have more in a moment right here.
Independence Day baseball yesterday. Jose Miranda went 5 for 5 with 3.
It's a lot of buttons you push.
It's a lot of buttons. Let's see who's on the live stream this morning. We've got Bill. Good morning, Bill. It's good to see you. We've got John. John was our first good morning of the day. So John Hawkins, good morning, John. Bill says good morning. Teresa says good morning. Diana says good morning. And then they're all saying good morning to each other. You want to say good morning to them?
John from?
I don't know. You can ask John.
Where's John from?
Ask John.
John, where are you from?
There you go.
Bill's from Dowagiac, right?
Bill is from the Dowagiac area. Yeah. And then Teresa has deep roots in the area. And then Diane, remind me, are you in Buchanan? I think you're in Buchanan. But good morning, all. Thanks for joining us on the video live stream this morning. We've been talking about food and politics.
Mm-hmm.
And then also I do have a story about the plague. Because they're all the same, right? I mean, it's
the
all
book of Exodus. So you got the plague here.
Let's hope not. No, in Colorado. I saw this story about the plague, and I thought we've got to talk about that. Yeah, Pueblo, Colorado. Public health officials are investigating a human plague case in Pueblo County. The Pueblo Department of Public Health and Environment and the Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment are investigating a human case of plague that health officials say they hope it's limited. They say the plague bacteria is often transmitted by fleas and wild rodents. It occurs naturally, and it can affect humans and their pets. When they say the plague occurs naturally,
is that kind of like how COVID?
Well, I mean,
naturally,
doesn't everything occur naturally? Kinda.
Yeah, I would agree.
Because you can kind of make anything you want, and if you made it, anyway. So they say the plague is there. Common symptoms of the plague include sudden fever and chills, severe headaches, muscle aches, nausea, vomiting, and feeling ill.
That was me this morning.
Health officials say plague can be treated successfully with antibiotics, but an infected person must be treated quickly to avoid serious complications or death. Common forms include bubonic plague, pneumonic plague, septicemic plague. As of yesterday, health officials still did not specify which form of plague the Pueblo County case was.
So how do you, what's your survival rate?
Well, I think if you get early treatment, you're fine. But if it goes further, you're not in good shape anymore.
Like most things.
Like most things.
So what do they put on your insurance? Plague?
Yeah. Had the plague.
Is there a code for plague?
I'm sure there's a code for plague.
Probably is.
Yeah. It's probably like 001. This is the first thing we discovered that was killing people. They say here are some things to do to eliminate the occurrence of plague in your own abode. Eliminate places where rodents can hide and breed around your home.
Clean.
Avoid contact with dead animals. You know, that's always a good thing to do. Avoid contact with dead animals.
Yeah, we had a dead squirrel outside our house yesterday.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Car?
Might have been. He wasn't. It might have.
He wasn't too smooshed.
No, it wasn't at all.
Oh, okay.
Either he fell out of a tree. One of the two.
They don't die when they fall out of trees.
They don't.
No, you seen
They
them fall.
fight up there. They chase each other.
Oh, it's great. It's great fun.
Yeah.
We heard our first cicadas. Have you heard any of the
that's
cicadas?
That bug. What sound does it make? Let's see. I want to hear you make it.
Oh, I'm not going to make the sound. I can't make the sound.
No.
Let me see if I can find it though.
That's the one that comes out every 17 or every 12 years.
Well, it depends on which brood you're talking about. They are out every year. It's
Oh.
just that certain broods happen to.
Is that the one that like rubs their wings and they make that hum sound?
I think that's a cricket.
Oh,
but they might do it.
I think you're right.
Let's see, cicada. Well, we'll see if I can find it.
Yeah, find it. I'm on to know.
All right, stand by. We're coming back with more in just a moment.
Patriot, here in the land of the free and the home of the brave.
A few areas of fog this morning, otherwise partly sunny. We are tracking a few scattered showers and thunderstorms through the day. High temperatures at 82. You may notice bigger waves developing along the lakeshore today. A slight chance of a shower overnight tonight. We drop down to 65. And tomorrow, partly sunny, a few showers, but a high of only 75. I'm meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
The Morning Show with Ken and Friends on 94.9 WSJM.
Focus. Brett, focus.
I was asking what you're doing this weekend.
2 seconds before we go live on the air,
I didn't know.
Hey, let's start a conversation.
Did not know we were going on.
This is the same thing we do every time that you're here.
Short-term memory.
The gap between male and female students appears to be rising at Michigan colleges and universities. Women who graduated in 2023 made up nearly 58% of those attending four-year schools. That's up from 55% in 2013. Men appear to be choosing work over higher education. Have you heard this?
No.
This is a
Not
trend.
everybody needs to go to college. There's a lot of good trades out there.
When you
without
say
that.
not everyone needs to go to college,
Right.
we're now talking about a trend that says more females are going to college and men are choosing not to go to college. So are you saying men don't need to go to college?
Well, no, they may be going to different trades that necessarily don't require college.
Michigan's colleges and universities are increasingly dominated by women. This report coming from Bridge, Michigan, a trend fueled by rising wages and plentiful jobs that are keeping men away from classrooms, according to experts. This mirrors a national trend where an estimated 69% of women in Michigan enroll in college within a year of graduating high school, while just 56% of men do. So that's 69% of women going right into college, 56% of men. That's led women at many community colleges in the state and several public universities to make up 60% or more of all graduates. Yeah, Kellogg Community College, they say in Kalamazoo, women make up nearly 72% of undergraduate students.
Wow.
I have three boys, and I want them all to pursue higher education. 2 out of the 3 so far are. The third one is 13 years old, so he's got some time to decide where he's going to go. I'm going to send him to Kellogg Community College because if you've got
Plenty
3
of
to 1,
dates.
well, right, 3 to 1.
Yep.
It's got some good odds there.
Yeah, he's got a good chance. Is that where you went?
I did not.
Oh,
No,
okay.
I went to Wenatchee Valley Community College, and then I finished up at Boston University.
Okay.
Yeah. Path to better pay. More women continue to seek higher education because that's viewed as the best way to ensure steady, good paying jobs, according to the experts who are looking at this. Men are apparently reaching different conclusions. Overall, they say 53% of high school graduates enrolled in 2 or 4 year college in 22 or 23, down from 65%, but the male rate fell from 61% down to 46% at that same time. So that's a big decline.
Well, there's a lot of great trades out there that I think people were pushed not to go into, and well, you got to go to college if you want to be somebody. And that's just not necessarily true. Not everybody has, people have talents to do other things.
Getting the specialized education out of the traditional route, I think, has helped further that, because you have a lot of the specialized, whether it's law enforcement or healthcare or the computer trades, that kind of thing. A lot of those, you don't need the 4-year degree. You just need to get specialized in that one area. What it does provide you in that 4-year degree category is a wider view of a lot of different things, which perhaps could round out the way that you approach your work and are able to accept a lot of the innovations that happen because technology is rapidly changing.
So yeah, I agree. But if you want to be a heating and air conditioning guy or a plumber or a contractor or
Again, technology,
a
lot of
auto
it,
mechanic,
dealing with people.
But does that mean you have to go to college, or you just need to go to that trade school?
Need is a different thing, right?
Yeah.
Because you can certainly do what we do without a college education. However, do you feel like you're better prepared to accept some of the changes, some of the variables that happen in your day-to-day work?
In some fields, yes. In some fields, I don't think it matters.
Okay. All right.
It's just my own opinion, and I just think people were looked upon negatively, at least in my time.
Yeah.
If you didn't go to college, and I think that was the wrong approach to take. And,
Yeah, the stigma was a bad thing.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of the schools at the time had trades, right? Like wood shop,
Sure.
Auto mechanic. When I went to St. Joe, they had an auto mechanic classroom,
Mm-hmm.
and and it was a great job. But most schools don't have that. They do it.
Yeah, because nowadays you need a computer degree to touch a car.
No, I get all that part, but but a lot of those classes have been pushed out of public schools.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Right.
Where I took home economics. I was horrible at it. In every aspect that humanly possible.
No wonder you don't cook.
No, I couldn't sew either.
No.
But I think those are all good things for people to be exposed to.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But, because of the education requirements and other courses, those things have been not in public schools as much.
Yeah, just to wrap this one up, women outnumber men on Michigan's college campuses, but we're still doing okay as far as a national scale of this. Number one state where women outnumber men in college right now is Vermont. They say 63.7% are women, only 36% men. In Hawaii, 60% women, 39% men. And same in Rhode Island, Alaska, Delaware, pretty much Arkansas and Louisiana as well. Yeah, we're number 30 in the nation. There you go. There's that information. Feel good about that?
You got the local numbers like LMC?
I said it was a study that came in from Bridge, Michigan.
Yeah, well, I didn't know. I'm just asking.
And then when we were talking about the national numbers.
Well, but you said Kellogg out of Battle Creek, so I thought, well, maybe they threw in Lake Michigan College.
Go back to your hot dogs.
I'm trying to expand.
Good. That's very good.
I'm done expanding.
You're doing a great job. What do you got going on this weekend? Since you asked me, I am going to hopefully connect with one of my oldest sons who's going on an internship to San Francisco.
Tell him to be safe out there.
I will tell him to be safe out there. He is finding lodging. Basically, he's going to have to do an Airbnb for a month. And the most economical things, he's found two options. One is where he shares a bathroom with somebody in an apartment. The other is share a bedroom with somebody in an apartment. What would you choose?
Probably the bathroom.
Yeah, I'm thinking so too. Because
I'm afraid to ask how much.
It's $2,000 a month is the average. $2,000 a month. And do you know what his internship is paying?
$1,800 a month.
$2,000 a month.
Yeah. so
but at least he gets
you
to
gotta
learn.
float him some money.
Well, we'll see. We'll talk about it. He listens to the show. He watches the show. He's probably on the live stream right now. But
ask your dad for money, young man.
He's
got it.
He's got to provide something in return. I mean, he can't.
He's already doing what you're asking him to do, probably.
Probably is the key word there.
He's young. He's learned. I mean,
he is young.
He's trying.
He's young. He's young. And he introduced me to the board game of Catan. Have you played this? Have you heard of this?
I bet my oldest daughter has.
Yeah.
She's into.
She likes the board games.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
She's in it to win it.
Let's talk about that on the video live stream here in just a moment. It is the WSJM morning show. We do have the Bloomberg Money Minute coming up, Market Money Minute coming up in a few moments. Also, we'll get the latest from ABC News if we time it right. And then also the latest local news that's right here. Happy Friday.
Loan rates are trending downward. Are you ready to make your move?
There we go. Yeah, if I bring up a study and we talk about state numbers, I can go get the local numbers.
Oh, you can?
But I can't do it right here live on the air.
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know.
What do you mean you didn't know?
I don't know. I'm not a news guy. I just thought maybe they'd have and locally at the LMC College. I wonder what, because you do all the commercials. Figured you'd know.
Oh, boy. Commercials? What does that have to do with it?
Because you have a connection with LMC.
Oh, I do talk about their Red Hawk futures.
Right.
It's a great deal.
Well, it's a great option. I mean,
I paid for community. You paid for community college yourself?
No,
I paid for community college.
I was blessed. I had a football scholarship.
Oh, that's right. Okay. But you're right about the stigma of our generation not having a college degree.
Yeah.
And I felt that so much. I went back and finished. I got my 2-year degree right out of high school. It took me a little longer because I went into the ski program. But I did go back and get my 4-year degree. And I do believe it's helped me greatly in getting kind of a more well-rounded. But I did it at the same time I was working as well. So,
and that takes a lot. People have to go through that. I give a lot of credit.
It's, it was rewarding.
Yeah. And, I kind of wonder, part of me, they talk about now.
And part of that, Brett, part of that was I felt like I appreciated it more because I was mature. I was more mature and more ready to learn.
And there was a value to it because you had to pay for it.
Right. Absolutely. I paid for all my school.
And I kind of wonder with community college now being free, at least in the short term.
Yeah.
And it's nothing against SMC or LMC because I think they're phenomenal options.
All right.
But if the state's going to make that free, is there value in that education then?
Oh, are the people who are receiving
students,
it
is there value?
Skin in the game?
Yeah, and that's to me, I'm not a fan of forgiving student loans.
Yeah,
because you don't have to go to school. There's like you paid your way through.
Yep.
Which meant you worked hard.
Yep.
And I'm looking at people who want to trade school to be a CNC operator or want to trade school to be they don't get their loans forgiven.
Right.
And so why are we appealing only to a specific? And to me, if you have a little skin in the game, you're a little bit more concerned. It's just like an athlete, right? If you just showed up and automatically on the court you were guaranteed to win, how much are you going to care about it?
Yeah.
But
don't they have what's equivalent to our higher education? Isn't that part of your regular school over in Europe? Isn't that what they've done? Is they've integrated? You don't go for 12 years, you go for maybe 14 years, 16 years, depending on what occupational path you're on. And it just becomes part of the thing there. Well, we also have an issue here in Southwest Michigan where we're seeing a declining population. You know this of young people. We have the death rate is faster than the birth rate, and the people who are born here are moving away at least for a period of time before coming back.
Correct.
We see some of them come back, which is great news. But at the same time, if they don't have the educational opportunities, if they don't have the occupational opportunities, then you're going to continue to see that decline. So I think it's a good thing for communities like Southwest Michigan. For Michigan overall, we've got a population problem that has to be dealt with.
Yeah, but I don't necessarily think that's an educational problem. I think we have
part of it is.
Well, I think part of it is the overall image, first of all, of the state,
right,
of the area, because our graduation rate and college rate are no worse than it is in Florida and Texas, which are growing exponentially at this I think I mentioned we were in Florida for vacation. 1,000 new people are moving into that state a day. A day.
That's a lot.
I mean, I think it doesn't mean that you want people to be dumb.
Hold that thought. Hold that thought. We'll be right. We got to get to the news. Hang on.
America's two largest luxury department store chains are combining. The owner of Saks Fifth Avenue is acquiring Neiman Marcus for $2.65 billion. Amazon and Salesforce are helping with the deal, and the two will take minority stakes in the new company called Saks Global. Gina Cervetti, Bloomberg Radio.
The Morning Show with Ken Lundberg on WSJM.
And Brett, Bill wants you to know he's actually in Sister Lakes. It's part of Dowagiac, so that's where he is.
Yeah, that's a pretty
And
area.
then Diane had a phone issue because she wasn't seeing comments on hers, so somebody said, turn your phone off and turn it back on, which is always a good choice. Let's see. And then John says he's originally from Benton Harbor, but he loves tuning into our program from Memphis, Tennessee.
Sweet.
Yeah. So thank you, John, for tuning in. We used to have somebody in St. Louis, Missouri as well, Jeff, but he hasn't been tuning in lately. Must have got busy at work or something. But we'll have more news coming up in just a moment. We've got the latest from ABC. We'll have our local news, our local weather forecast, local sports. It is your local information connection, WSJM. Thanks for tuning in.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. With the blessing of King Charles to form a government now achieved, Labour leader Keir Starmer has officially become the Prime Minister of Great Britain, ending 14 years of Conservative rule. Rishi Sunak, the outgoing Prime Minister, offering his resignation to King Charles. Hurricane Beryl has made landfall just northeast of Tulum, Mexico. Maximum sustained winds now 110 miles an hour, making it a Category 2 storm. The government's June employment report is due in about an hour from the Labor Department. Here's ABC's Daria Albinger.
Employers created 272,000 jobs in May. The June report is expected to show a gain of 190,000, still historically strong, but much smaller, and a sign that the economy may be starting to cool. Look for the jobless rate to remain 4%.
The economy, one of the big issues in the presidential campaign. President Biden expected to talk about it during campaign stops in Wisconsin and Pennsylvania today. The president also talking about last week's debate performance with ABC's George Stephanopoulos today. This is ABC News.
WSJM News Now. Team coverage from the WSJM Newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
65 degrees on your Friday morning in Benton Harbor. Same over in St. Joseph right now. Actually, 66 in St. Joseph and 64 down in Buchanan. California Governor Gavin Newsom was in Michigan yesterday in South Haven.
Wow.
Visiting the Van Buren County Democrat Party's 4th of July reception. Newsom reaffirming his support for President Joe Biden. This comes after Biden's shaky debate performance against President Donald Trump raised questions among Democrats about Biden's fitness for office. Newsom, Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer, and several other Democrat governors were at the White House on Wednesday meeting with Biden. Newsom said that meeting confirmed for him that Biden should be the Democrat nominee. Newsom admitted it's been a tough time for Democrats since Biden's debate against Trump, but said Biden's campaign against the former president is daylight versus darkness. Michigan Senate Minority Leader Eric Nesbitt, a Republican, said Newsom's visit to South Haven is a clear display of a failing Democrat Party under Biden. He said, quote, having the governor from one of the most expensive states in the nation campaigning for Joe Biden here in Michigan, who's made everything more expensive everywhere, showing up at a barbecue, he thinks demonstrates how everything's more expensive under the Biden administration. That's a long soundbite. But
I wonder what Governor Whitmer thought of seeing Newsom in Michigan.
Well, it is interesting. You raise a really good point because what's one of the swing states? What's one of the purple states?
Now, yeah.
What do you need if you're running for president to win the whole shebang?
Michigan.
You need Michigan. And so Gavin Newsom, he's often the first mentioned
to himself.
Well, I don't know. I think the mainstream media has been talking. Remember when he set up the debate with Sean Hannity and who was it at the time? DeSantis was trying to debate him back in November of last year. And since then, he's kept it clean and he's been middle of the road and he's been out there not doing anything, not shaking the boat, but rocking the boat rather. But it does seem very interesting that he chose to be in Michigan over the 4th of July holiday at the very time when the president himself is thinking, can I get out of this mess that I'm in right now? Anyway, we'll talk more about that if you want to. Also in the news today, area Congressman Bill Huizenga says he's interacted with Joe Biden a few times over the years, and he said the man that was on the debate stage last week was starkly different than what he's seen in the past. So he's concerned about the cognitive decline. We'll have more on that coming up at 8 o'clock. And the Benton Harbor Planning Commission has approved a site plan for a new development at the former Chase Bank building at 400 Riverview Drive. That building, as we know, has sat vacant for several years, but Shane Franks of Greenspan Construction told planners this week developers are looking to add 16 condominiums and some commercial space there. The residential units would occupy the 2nd through the 5th floors. We'll tell you more about that. That's coming up at 8 o'clock this morning. It's the WSJM Morning Show. I'm Ken Lundberg alongside Brett Witkowski. We'll have our sports in a moment. That's coming up after a look at state news.
The Michigan News Network.
I'm Mike Campbell. If you'll be spending time outdoors today, you may want.
Brett, I hope I hope people don't think we're getting too political, but this is the news. And the news is, can the president work his way out of all this concern over his what appears to be a cognitive decline? And I do think, I think you're absolutely right. It was very interesting that Gavin Newsom, of all 50 states, when he's coming back from a meeting with the president at the White House, of all 50 states, he chose to stop off in Michigan.
Yeah, in a swing state. And your comment about political, you can't not ignore what's going on right now.
Absolutely.
And we're not telling people how to think or how to vote. We're just making comments, and everybody's entitled to their opinion on those.
You're
things.
not.
Yeah, just like you are.
Yes, okay, you are. Yeah.
But if I had to pick, if Biden does step down, and that's the only way it happens, I think it'd be Newsom and Whitmer. That would be your ticket.
Oh, and Newsom as the lead, and Whitmer as the vice president. Why not the other way around?
I just think Newsom I think he's been out so much across the country. He also, did he go to Japan or something? Remember?
I don't know.
Remember last year he hosted,
Whitmer went to Japan, or she went to Asia.
He hosted or maybe he hosted a national leader. Might have been China's national leader.
All right.
At the point. I think he's done more nationally to be recognized than Whitmer, but I think he'd pick Whitmer and skip over Harris.
What about Kamala?
I don't think she has traction.
Why not?
I just think there's just too
not very popular.
I don't think so. I don't, think she struggles at the national scene. She seems to have a nervous laugh. When she, I do know what you mean. When she, and some people have that when they get really nervous, they laugh through it. And I think that everybody has a defense mechanism. We all do.
Right.
And I think that's hers, and that's tough on the national scene. And, the fact is, sometimes when you're not a person in power, you have more advantage than the person in power.
Yeah, it is interesting because that position that the vice president is often in is not the highest profile. The president, the old saying of keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer. Well, in your political rivals, I think that applies as well.
Oh, right. You look back in history,
right?
Johnson and Kennedy were arch enemies.
Yeah.
But Kennedy needed Texas and picked Johnson. And I remember when Ronald Reagan got the nominee in 80 to be president, he wanted Gerald Ford to be his vice president. But Gerald Ford did not want the traditional role of a vice president. He wanted an expanded role.
Right.
And wouldn't accept it.
Yeah.
And then he picked Bush, who was his rival in the Republican Party.
Yeah.
Politics makes for some odd associations.
Strange bedfellows.
Right.
Strange bedfellows. All right. Well, enough of that. Let's see. What else you want to talk about this morning? Let's see. Oh, did you see that? This is horrible. Who are these people? A Michigan deputy is okay, uninjured, after some yahoos threw a firework at him.
Unreal.
Yeah. Let's see. How much time do we have here? Do I have time? Yeah, let's do this. A close call for a mid-Michigan sheriff's deputy who was hit by a firework. Ingham County sheriff deputies were checking on a large crowd near Lansing early Wednesday morning when a group of partiers took off in a car and shot a firework at the law enforcement officers.
Well, and because of how some people or enough people view police, nothing ever happens to them.
The sheriff's department says one of the fireworks hit one of the deputies in the chest and exploded. They say seconds later, but I bet it was fractions of a second, right? Because a few seconds, it just goes there. He was not hurt. That's the good news. Detectives were able to identify some of those involved. A report will be sent to prosecutors to determine what charges should be filed. This does raise an interesting thing. If you're in a major metropolitan area, even if you're in an area like Benton Harbor, St. Joe, there are cameras everywhere.
Exactly.
There are cameras everywhere. And doing that kind of stuff, especially with law enforcement, they've got cameras on their car. They've got cameras on their body. They've got cameras on the streetlights. You got Ring cameras on people's houses, cameras outside of businesses. You're not going to get away with it.
Well, and to me,
why would you? Why would you want to?
Sorry. Comes down to just lack of respect. And who do they call a lot of times? And those people, when they need somebody, police right away.
Well, right. Yeah.
Police have in my opinion, our house, they have all of our respect for what they have to deal with
every day
on a daily basis and put up with some of the BS from people.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, if you're not, and then people dogging like, well, if you're not doing anything wrong, what do you care? You know, it's just, they put a lot on their line. You know, they work tough hours too.
Absolutely.
You know, it's not a 9 to 5 job or 8 to 5.
Yeah.
You know, they work different shifts. They get called. I mean,
first responders, healthcare workers, you name it. I mean, they are there when you need them the most.
Like in St. Joe City, if you get a 911 call, the police will show up at that house if they're not on another call too.
Yeah.
And then, you know, then the ambulance shows up too.
Yeah.
You know, and that's, I don't care if it's Lincoln or Benton Township or Benton Harbor City or the sheriffs. Those men and women put up with a lot and work some tough hours and sacrifice a lot of family time.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean, if they're on a call and their son or daughter's got a ball game, they're not going to leave the call to go to their ball game.
Yeah. I just wish road workers had the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
No. They
because Brett's in with the road commission.
You know, that's when I
we'll come back in just a moment and talk
Okay.
about this.
NewHeightsAutoservices.com.
A few areas of fog this morning, otherwise partly sunny. We are tracking a few scattered showers and thunderstorms through the day. High temperatures at 82. You may notice bigger waves developing along the lakeshore today. A slight chance of a shower overnight tonight. We drop down to 65. And tomorrow, partly sunny, a few showers, but a high of only 75. I'm meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
The Morning Show with Ken Lundberg on WSJM.
I have a feeling there are going to be potholes appearing on my street.
No, why? Why you say that?
Well, I just wanted to make sure that we were having fun, and I was talking about you and the roads.
Yeah. I can laugh at myself more than anybody.
Making sure the potholes are getting filled in a timely manner.
Yeah, we try to do that.
How's everything up there anyway?
Going good. You know, we were very fortunate. There was 3 parades in Van Buren for 4th of July. South Haven had one.
Okay.
Bangor and Decatur. And we had 4 drivers who volunteered their time, clean up the trucks, and were in those parades. I had people reaching out and saying, hey, thanks for having them, which is great, but it's really our crew and 4 or 5, in this case, 4 drivers who volunteered on their own time on 4th of July to drive to Lawrence, pick up a truck, drive to the parade, drive back. You're probably looking at 3 hours.
Nice.
And we
on a holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had a brand new truck that came in Monday.
Ooh.
So
a brand new, what kind of truck?
Plow truck.
Really?
Yeah. It's so
state of the art stuff in it.
Yeah.
Cool.
They're pretty nice. First ones that come in with backup cameras.
Oh, nice.
Which is very important.
I can't understand why the big rigs, all of them should have the backup cameras. It just seems like it should be a requirement.
So
it's
I agree with you.
Life-saving technology.
I agree. And so Tuesday I walked through we have 4 mechanics.
Right.
And thankfully they're all young, which is great for the most part. And I asked them what they thought. They go, man, this is a good one. But
good deal.
To buy a plow truck, you're looking at about $600,000.
You gonna buy electric plow trucks?
No.
Why not?
Absolutely. Technology just is not there. Plus, we would drain all the electric grid in Lawrence because most of it goes to the weed factories.
We used. Oh dear.
It just does. If you drive down highway, you see the facilities on the left at night. They glow in the dark.
That you know what that is? You know what the smell of that is? That's the smell of money right there. That's economic. That's the economic activity going on.
It definitely smells when you roll.
I tell you, Stephanie and I walked out the door this weekend. I feel like it was a weekend. It wasn't a weekend. Sometime during the 4th of July holiday, yesterday, we walked out of our back door, and there was like a haze hanging in the air from some of the fireworks nearby. But then we smelled the green stuff, the skunk that you hit, and it's like, oh, okay.
So
along with the fireworks smell, we get that.
Yeah. So I'll tell you how naive or stupid I am. So I get off the Lawrence exit. For the longest time, I kept thinking, my gosh, who keeps hitting a skunk every day?
Oh man.
And it's and it's so if you go off Lawrence, they have 2 weed stores there, but they also in the back have a massive indoor growing.
Oh, okay.
And that's if you go on the Highway 94 in the winter when the leaves are off, the facilities are lit up in purple or whatever. But even enclosed, it smells horrible.
Huh. Okay.
Like what you were saying.
I like the smell of skunks. So I'm weird that way. But speaking of roads, I did want to mention this. The Berrien County Road Department is investigating the cause of damage to a road south of Three Oaks.
Saw that.
Did you see this?
Yeah, my staff was letting me know about it.
Yeah, if you look at a picture, we've got it tagged with our news story at WSJM.com. If you look at the picture, they really tore up the road, whoever did whatever they did. The road department's Adri Boone tells us that a small section of Phillips Road near Three Oaks Road was ripped apart. They said that we were called by somebody who had noticed unusual damage on Phillips Road Thursday night. And when doing so, we did take a look and begin our investigation to see if we could determine the cause of that damage. Unfortunately, we're not certain who or what caused the issues on that Phillips Road area. So if anyone from the public has any information, they're encouraged to give us a call at the road department. Boone says it looks like some piece of heavy equipment used to till soil was accidentally dropped on the roadway and ended up tilling a bunch of that. I can't imagine, redoing those blades of the little discs or whatever after that. They probably sparked up the road. But this was a rural area, a lot of farm fields nearby. Boone says the road has already been repaired, but the department would like to know the cause of the damage. And if the person is identified, she says maybe insurance would cover the cost of the repair.
And if I am understanding it correctly, it was what's called a double seal coat, which is a alternative way of paving gravel roads. I could be wrong, but so to pave a gravel road, you're looking at $1.1 million per mile.
Okay.
Which on a local street, which is like what that is.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to have the money and it's going to spend the money on that.
Right.
So double seal coat is if you go along in different roads and you see like that, the tar and then the rocks.
Yeah.
That's seal coat. And that's a way to preserve roads, to fill in the cracks and things like that cause potholes.
Okay.
And so the idea is you do that twice over gravel, and you take a dusty gravel road and you've got, in essence,
and you can paint lines on it and everything.
Oh, yeah, you can do it. And that's what I think happened is, if they drop farm equipment, it's only like that.
Yeah, it's just a gravel layer or two thick. Two gravel layers thick, and it's just got the coat on it to keep it in place.
Correct, exactly.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense because I'm thinking a regular highway road, something like that, it's going to spark a lot. This one dug right in.
Right, and you can see the gravel right below that.
Yep.
So on Marquette Woods, this is probably 5 years ago.
Okay.
Marquette Woods between M139 and I think Lincoln Avenue. Lincoln one of those. They had taken what was a poor asphalt road, tore it up, made it into gravel. And then I'm thinking, what in the world are you guys doing?
Right.
And I called them. I'm like, and they're like, just be patient. We're gonna put this double seal coat on it, which at that time I had no idea what it meant.
Road guys sparring,
and they put it on there, and it held up tremendously.
Yeah, I've seen that before. They just did that, I think, by Grand Mare.
Did they?
Yeah.
The only difference, it doesn't necessarily create a pothole. It creates pot chunks. It'll break off in a chunk.
Oh, okay. But it's cheaper.
It's cheaper.
It's cheaper.
Lasts
keeps the dust
5
down.
to 7 years.
Okay.
And that's like, I'm going to say 80,000 a mile.
Okay.
Versus 1.1 million.
More road talk coming up in a few minutes.
Yeah,
on WSJM.
Sleep.
No, thank you for that explanation. We appreciate it. We're going to talk more. We're going to get our Moody on the Market update. That's coming up next right here on the WSJM Morning Show.
South Haven is absolutely beautiful this year. If you don't live here, you should come and see. Hi, this is Walt Seacard. Phoenix Street could hardly be more picturesque. Our view of the big lake is breathtaking. The beaches are amazing, and the folks here are the finest people you'll meet anywhere in the world. I hope you love this town like I do, and I hope you will keep Walt Seacard Car Company in mind for your next auto purchase or service. Walt Seacard Car Company, a South Haven tradition since 1995. Find us on the web at waltseacard.com.
Hi, everybody. Pat Moody here once again with another edition of Moody on the Move. We're taking you across the region to businesses and places of interest to get the story behind the scenes. A truly unique business that we've all driven by dozens, if not hundreds of times. We take you inside St. Joe Monument Works. Moody on the Move is made possible by Midwest Family and Little Red Fern Productions, focused on video storytelling and driving engagement towards building brands. You can watch anytime online at moodyonthemove.com.
Improve grain quality more efficiently with AGI mixed flow dryers. The dryer's screenless operation and computerized moisture control deliver consistently higher quality grain and heavier test weights per bushel, translating into maximum return on investment. To learn more about energy efficient AGI mixed flow dryers and how they can add profitability to your farm, contact your local dealer or visit aggrowth.com. AGI, we're right there with you.
From grain storage and handling to conditioning and monitoring, AGI is right there with you, supporting your expertise with the largest catalog of industry-leading solutions. All to ensure your grain gets handled properly, you stay safe, and your profits continue to grow. We're AGI, and we're all in. To learn more about how AGI can support your farm, contact your local dealer or visit aggrowth.com.
The Morning Show with Ken Lundberg on WSJM.
It is 9 minutes before 8 o'clock. Thanks for joining us on your Friday, July 5th. The Moody on the Market update is brought to you by Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today. They are your local auto owners insurance agency in St. Joseph and in Niles. And I want to just do a reminder on the Lake Breeze Music Festival. We had Brian Joseph in earlier this week, and we talked all about the Lake Breeze Music Festival and some of the exciting plans that they have, they're thinking about for not only the Lake Breeze Music Festival, but for other types of music events that they could hold in the area. But this one, the Lake Breeze Music Festival, is happening tomorrow. And it is Southwest Michigan's salute to contemporary and smooth jazz, and it's likely the fastest growing festival in the region. The musical genre has a long history at Shadowland Pavilion at Silver Beach County Park, beginning in the 90s with St. Joseph Music Store owner Tony DeLapa, who promoted several shows featuring big names from the genre. Do you know? Is this familiar to you?
Yeah, we've gone to them before.
The next chapter
like
began in 2003 with the Smooth Jazz at Sunset concert series.
That was Gail Olson.
That was Gail Olson and he wrote this article, so that's
he knows about it.
98.3 The Coast put that one on, which lasted until the pandemic forced a shutdown of that and most live entertainment in 2020. So they've had a number of artists return, and Brian Joseph back in 2021 with Jerry Price, they picked up the torch and turned their love for multiple genres of music into the Lake Breeze Music Festival. It's been growing ever since. So again, Gail says there's no better setting for the show than the sandy shores of Lake Michigan at the mouth of the St. Joe River. The music plays to the backdrop of breathtaking sunsets and cooling breeze. It says it gets no better than that on a Michigan summer evening. So the best of the best awaits you. Gates open at 6 o'clock tomorrow. Admission either online or at the gate. You can get reserve seating for $40, $30 for general admission in the back there. Bring your own chair. The 2024 artist list, the biographies of the artists and everything else is right there at moodyonthemarket.com. Your Moody on the Market update is brought to you by Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today, your local auto owners insurance agency in St. Joseph and in Niles. So if you're in the mood for some good live music, go check it out. It's Lake Breeze. The music festival is happening tomorrow. And I have a bone to pick with one of our listeners because they won tickets to this. And I reached out on Facebook to try to connect with them to get the tickets to them, let them know how to get them, where to pick them up and everything. And she hasn't got back to me.
You probably showed up as spam.
I don't think so, because I replied to the comment on Facebook that she put in and said, Linda, check your messages through Facebook. I'm going to reach out to you there and get information from you so that we can get the ticket handoff. And ghosted. I haven't. So Linda, if
Facebook Marketplace,
if something happened and you didn't see the message from us, check your instant messages on Facebook, because I'm trying to get these tickets to you. Otherwise, we're going to have to give them away. I don't know.
You want them used.
Yeah, if you want them, If you want them, we'll have them for you. But you got to reach back. You got to meet us halfway.
Right. You've done your part. You gave it away. But see, like we talked about, giving away things free, not always.
Look at that. Bringing it full circle.
Spinning it around.
All right. We'll come back with more in a moment. It's the WSJM Morning Show.
We're watching over you. I am.
Yeah. I mean, you said you were going to drink that real quick.
I didn't.
And you did not. No, Linda Kahlberg.
Linda.
We're knocking on the door. We're trying to get these tickets to you. If you're not going to use them, I want to give them to somebody else. So let us know. And last time, last time I went through the same procedure, and it happened to be a friend of yours.
Correct.
And did they ever say that they saw the messages on Facebook?
No, that's why he reached out to me. He's like, hey.
I'm glad he did.
Yeah, you guys got him. I mean, you guys worked it out, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, at least I told him, and then the tickets apparently were picked up.
Yeah.
He
really wanted to go.
I checked with Kathy at the front desk, and she said, "Oh yeah, tickets are gone."
I saw Kathy and her husband leaving the fireworks.
Oh yeah. So the fireworks were good. Anything different this year? Anything unusual?
No.
Except for the pause.
Yeah, St. Joe did a good job. We should talk about our family cook-off after 8:00.
We can do that.
Yeah, we do.
You've got a family. You had
cook-off.
a family cook-off.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we want to know. Here's what you need to prepare for. I want to know the parameters. What were the guardrails? What were the rules?
Sure.
What did you have going on?
Got it.
And then who won?
Got it.
Okay. And you don't cook.
No, I voted.
But you voted.
Yep.
Okay.
And we allowed one of the dogs to vote.
All right. We'll talk about that. Let's see here. Bill, you're racing Saturday. Where are you racing?
Ooh, what's your race?
RC cars.
Those little ones, right?
Well, radio control cars.
That's
yeah.
what I meant.
Yeah, radio control cars. They have the 110 scale and the 1/8 scale.
Ooh, those are big.
Yeah, the 8 scales, if I'm remembering this correctly, the 1/8 scales are the really big ones. The 110 scale, I have one of those. I've got a mechanical problem with mine, Bill, and I can't figure out what the problem is, but it feels like there's resistance on so I give it power and it like whines as it goes faster and faster.
You or the car.
Well, I always whine, so that's not unusual. But no, there's something else. Anyway, we'll talk more about that. But Bill, I need some help. So we'll talk about that. We've got more news coming up from ABC in just a moment. We're going to get back to the show here. Stay tuned for more. We're going to talk about the cook-off at the Witkowski family household. How many people did you have total?
13.
13 people at your house?
No, at my mother-in-law's.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll talk about that.
We'll talk about your cook-off. That's coming up. Thanks for joining us on the live stream. We really appreciate you. He's going to be in Wayland, Michigan.
Big time race. Is that now? You told me, is that electric now and not gas?
They use both. They use primarily batteries.
That's what I want. Yeah.
But they also use some fuel. It's like rocket fuel or something like that. But and they make a noise.
Yeah, I remember going to them when I had them over here on M139. They were fun.
Should we race on M139 itself? That'd be fun.
That'd be really fun, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Over there by Scottdale. It's all closed down.
County parking lot would be a great one.
All right. Back with more in just a moment.
If it's time to replace your equipment, McGee's gives you a free replacement estimate. And replacing your equipment with Carrier is one of the healthiest and most cost-effective home improvements you can make. Carrier provides quiet, efficient heating and cooling with innovative solutions, giving your home healthier air and premium comfort.